Donna Galinsky with Tate Real Estate here. Welcome to episode 4 of Talk About It Tuesday. Today I'd like to talk about the due diligence period when you're buying a house in the state of North Carolina. What is due diligence is the first thing that I'm asked. Probably my most frequently asked question. The due diligence period in North Carolina is a negotiated period of time during which a buyer has the opportunity to conduct their due diligence on a home before deciding whether to move forward with the purchase. During this time, the buyer can walk away from the home for any reason or no reason at all. You can walk away if the AC is broken and nobody wants to fix it. You can walk away because you find someplace else. You can walk away because you decide you don't like the paint color. You can walk away for any reason or no reason at all. Due diligence begins as soon as a contract is signed by all parties, once you are under contract. Due diligence normally lasts between 14 and 30 days, but of course there are exceptions to every rule. What happens during due diligence? A lot happens during due diligence. We're all very busy during this time period. First starts with a home inspection. And depending on the home inspection and the age of the home and the age of the systems, there might be other inspections needed, such as pool or HVAC or termite or radon. All these inspections, the costs are paid for by the buyer, unless a VA loan, in which case often the home inspection is paid for by the seller based on VA regulations. The survey is ordered and done if wanted by the buyer. It's something that I highly recommend. Mortgage application is completed and all documents are submitted to your lender, who will then order your appraisal because we want that appraisal to come back during due diligence in case there is an issue with the appraisal and the purchase price. If there is an HOA documents need to be reviewed. Are there any deed restrictions? Are there any title issues? These are all questions that are answered during due diligence. Fun fact, on new construction, there is no due diligence period. And what if problems come up? Well, either they can be resolved or the buyer can take a walk. So here are some things that could happen that could arise as problems. If there are inspection issues that the buyer wants taken care of, they can ask the seller to repair the issues or to give them a credit towards closing costs or a price reduction. If there's an appraisal issue, a price reduction could be asked for, or depending on the loan, common ground on a mid-price could be reached. The seller does not have to agree to give any concessions on price for repairs or for appraisal. And if they don't want to give any concessions and the buyer decides that the issues are too big, the buyer can walk away again for any reason or no reason at all. All that's lost is the money spent on inspections and the due diligence fee. Due diligence fee. The due diligence fee is what compensates the seller for taking their home off the market while the buyer completes their inspections. If the buyer decides before the end of due diligence not to move forward with the purchase, they can walk away again for any reason or no reason and lose only the due diligence fee, plus again any monies that was spent on inspections or during due diligence. Should the buyer decide to buy the home, the due diligence fee gets credited at closing. And due diligence, the fee is a negotiated amount that's submitted when you submit the offer. So depending on how long the house has been on the market, the price of the house, the hotness of the house, those all come into factor when you're deciding how much you want to offer them for due diligence. The buyer wants due diligence as low as possible in case they decide to take a walk, and the seller wants it higher because should the buyer walk, the money is theirs to keep. If there's a case of a really hot house, low price house, sometimes due diligence is higher than it would normally be because the buyer really wants the house. Next week, I'm going to talk about the other money issue in the contract, earnest money, what it is and how it's different than due diligence money. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions at all, or if I can help you with your real estate needs, please contact me on any of the ways shown here. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you next week on Tip Tuesday.